Hello, ladies and gents. It's Tom here once again from the West Ham Faithful, bringing you another Faithful preview show. Now, before I get on with this show, if you guys like the content that you've seen so far, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and smash that bell notification button, which allows you to get a notification every time I make an upload. Now, today I'm going to be giving my predictive lineups and my predictive scores. If you guys would like to get involved, a little bit of interaction never hurt no one. Hit me up in the comments below and I'll let you know what I think of your suggestions, predictions, whatever you want to say. Today we're going to be going over a little bit of the last game, a little bit of Moyes' press conference, which has a lot of injury news and updates involved. And I will just be giving my opinion on the game. Anyway, let's move on. Anderlecht last Saturday or Sunday, I'm not sure which day they played, but they played away from home. They went 1-0 down to a penalty early on, but they managed to win the game 3-1. Fabio Silva was amongst the goals. He managed to find the net this time. He couldn't against Ariola though, could he? Oi, oi. Anyway, I thought Anderlecht were a half-decent side. They were better than I expected. Now, I don't mean to be big-headed or think we've got a divine right to just turn them over. They were 10th in the Belgium league when we turned up at their gaff. And well, you can kind of expect I didn't expect us to obliterate them, but I expected us to win, and I thought it was going to be quite comfortable as well. I was expecting 2-0, I think. My prediction was, but when we turned up there, they gave us. Well, I think it was a mixture of them playing well on the night and our players playing bad on the night. There was a few key players that for us that weren't very good at all. Antonio Benrahma. Fucking Craig was the bollocks though, weren't he? Yes, he was. Anyway, like I said, I know it weren't our strongest lineup, but the players that were playing could play better. I mean, Benrahma, yeah, I moaned about the shots he was taking in the review, and I hope if he does play, he pulls up his socks and, I don't know, splashes some water in his face. He needs to wake up because that was terrible. But one player I did notice from their side was that Vishiran, and I did bang on about him as well in the review. He caught my eye. He seemed like a bundle of energy. He was finding himself in pockets and he was having a good go. 21 years of age. Moyes, you like to scout players when you're watching us play them like you did with Emerson and Paqueta. Have a look at this kid. He's 21 years of age. He's the perfect replacement for Lanzini. And you never know, you could have a proper gem on your hands. Everyone knows the quality that the Belgium youth system produces. I liked him a lot. Anyway, moving on. We had to bring on the big guns to turn them over, didn't we? It got to 70 minutes in. We were flat, out of ideas. Benrahma weren't doing nothing. Antonio looked like he was ready for bed. So we brought on the big guns, Declan Rice, Lucas Paqueta, and Gianluca Scamacca, who eventually scored the goal. But this moves me on to my next point. Now, I know we didn't concede early, but we're making a very bad habit of conceding early. And if Anderlecht come and do that to us at the London Stadium like Fulham did, I don't know. I think they'll be a bit tougher to break down. I don't know. I'm a lot more confident now. I've seen the revised what I think the lineup is going to be now. I'm a little bit more confident. Because there's a couple of players that I didn't think were going to play, but are going to play. But yeah, anyway, nearly dropped the the Notebook, you know. Sorry about that. Anyway, we've got to push for it, ain't we? We've got to try and cement our way at the top, cement our place at the top of the group, ain't we? We need them 2 games to rest our more important players for the Premier League, so we can give it a real good push up that league. I mean, the league's not as much of an eyesore as it was just over a week ago, but things happen in small amounts of time in football, especially this season with all the congestion. I mean, we've got 9 games in October. We need to rotate as much as possible, but in the same sense, we need to keep it strong enough against the teams that deserve the right amount of respect. I think Anderlecht are better than Stadia Bucharest. I think Stadia Bucharest are better than Silkeborg. So you can line up with different levels of strength without being too disrespectful. That's the right way to put it. Anyway, I can see Moyes playing a much stronger team this week. And before I go into my predictive lineup, I'm going to go into David Moyes' press conference. Now, here's a bit of news that's pretty fresh out the oven. Antonio has got a cold, and he hasn't been training for a couple of days, which I knew nothing about. I didn't know. I was expecting Antonio to start. I'm excited to see Scamacca play again, but rest-wise, I don't think Scamacca needs the rest. He's 23. He's young. He's fit as a fiddle, built like an ox. I don't think he needs the rest, but it's always good to only use your asset if you need them. You know what I mean? But anyway, he goes on to say about Antonio. Antonio has had a wee bit of a cold, so he hasn't trained for a day or 2, and we're a little bit unsure. Take from that what you will, but I don't think Moyes is going to play Antonio tomorrow. I don't think. Yeah, as we're not away and there's no indication to who's travelling or not, because that's how you normally get an indication. Oh, that person ain't been taken. Oh, why ain't they been seen in the pre-match training camp before the match or whatever? Do you know what I mean? That's when you normally clock it. But because we were at home and all the training's at home, I mean, they released a training video today, didn't they? I don't think I saw Antonio, but yeah, that's probably why the question got asked about Antonio. Anyway, he says elsewhere, there's a couple of knocks and niggles. I think he's talking mainly about players like Cresswell, Dawson. Zuma's always got a niggle, but yeah, Cresswell was holding his groin after stretching for that terrible pass. They were doing all that lovely tippy-tappy shit against... Who was it against? Was it last weekend? I think it was last weekend, against Fulham. They were doing all this tippy-tappy shit. And then Moyes Rice plays it to Cresswell. And it was just such a terrible pass. Cresswell just tried to reach for it, and he looked like he hurt himself. But yeah, that's who I think he's talking about when he's saying knocks and niggles amongst other players. Moving on, he goes on to say that he wants real competition in the squad. We have a group of players who are doing well, and he goes on to say that we want the quality and we want to keep everyone involved. So from my interpretation of that is that he wants to keep the team with plenty of quality in it, but he wants to rotate and give everyone a good go, which is, well, what good managers do, innit? They rotate when they need to rest players and stuff. Look how much football Jared Bowen's played. Look how much football Rice has played. The only time Rice hasn't played was when he was suspended, really, weren't it? There's a lot of football and there's a lot more football coming up before the World Cup, so he needs to rotate. It's not even if you don't want to, you have to. It's otherwise you're just going to knock everyone out, and you ain't going to get no results at all. But anyway, he goes on to say that we have won 5 out of the last 6. We're beginning to go into the right direction, and our new players are really doing well. Now, I'm just going to drag this in here. This isn't the whole interview. I'm just giving you my highlights, the most important parts, because some of it's just like talking. None of it's really that important. Anyway, after that statement, he then goes on to comment on Skamaka. He says, I've been impressed with him from day one. Some of the stuff he's done is really good. He elaborated a little bit more, but that's the key point of what he said. Seems to me that Moyes likes Skamaka, and he's liking what he's seeing from him. Well, he's not fucking blind. We're all liking what we're seeing from him. But one question I'm going to ask, is this the end of Antonio's being the number 1 striker at West Ham? Is it? And how is this going to affect Antonio going forward? I mean, I know he gets to play every week, but in the European competitions, and he's going to have games in the cup games and stuff. But when things get serious, he's going to get dropped because he's not the first choice striker anymore. So when we go into the last 16, I do not expect to see Antonio start up front unless it's against an opposition that Moyes thinks Antonio could handle it against. If we get given Fiorentina, Villarreal, or anyone like that, Real Betis, whoever's decent in the Europa Conference League, he's going to play Skamaka over Antonio just because he's going to go for a stronger lineup. He did it in the Europa League. I kept on thinking Europa Conference League. I was like, wait, no, yeah, in the Europa League last season, he played his strongest team when he got into the latter stages in the more important games, like even Seville, which was I think our last 16, and then we had Lyon in the last 8, I think, yeah, and then we had Frankfurt in the semis. So it's good. It's for me. I feel like it's so refreshing to see a second string team that is still good enough. Even if we had Skamaka out, Paqueta out, and a few other players, we would still be able to patch the team in together to at least have a team that stands some of a chance. But yeah, Moyes likes what he sees from Skamaka. So do we, mate. Right, the last bit of news concerns Agard and Cornet. As far as Agard's concerned, he says he's beginning to make his way. He's on the grass, and hopefully next week he should be kicking a football essentially. And then he gives us an update on Cornet, who a lot of us believed might be starting against Anderlecht tomorrow. But that's not the case because he's still out with a calf strain. I don't know how long this thing's going to last him. I mean, a lot of people were thinking that he was going to be back. I thought he was going to be back. He even made it in my predicted lineup, but then I saw the whole Moyes interview thing, and then that changed a thing or two. But it seems to me that Cornet ain't playing, and there's a lot of people out there that are big fans of Cornet, even though he's done bugger all for us. Apart from score a goal that got disallowed and miss an open goal in Europe. Yeah, I don't understand the obsession about him. I wanted Ben Rama to start over Cornet last week. Ben Rama did start, but I think Cornet did as well. And Cornet was Yeah, they weren't very. No, Cornet didn't start, but yeah, when he started in the game against Wolves before he went off, yeah, he weren't. I felt he was very lightweight. He weren't good enough. I felt Benrahma offered more, a little bit more, but they've both been quite poor recently. But then again, I say recently, Benrahma's only really played in the last game against Anderlecht. He's not getting sub appearances really. Um, yeah, so right, let's move on to my predicted lineup after Moyes' press conference, and I'll give you my predicted score. You can wait till the end before you see that. I'll give you my predictive lineup. I've got a little bit more to say after that, and then I'll give you my predictive score. And then we'll say bye bye. Anyway, right, so I've gone with Areola in goal. I tweeted earlier this week he should be our number one after the Europa Conference League. Posted a video of his save against Fabio Silva. He had no right saving that. It was naughty, but yeah, he keeps his place. I then go for now I know Moyes is going to go for a back five, but that's not what I would play. I'd play a back four, and I've gone with that for my predicted lineup. So the back line that I'm expecting Moyes to give would be Soufal, Johnson, Oggy, Dawson, and Emerson, but I haven't put Dawson in my team. I've still got Soufal, Johnson, Oggy, and Emerson, but I've taken Dawson out and left him on the bench. I think that defense is good enough. I think if it isn't good enough, our attacking line should be good enough to outscore them anyway. You never really want to outscore a team, but if that's the way it has to be to allow certain players, because Dawson needs a rest, man. He's just come back from injury. We can't risk him. He's our most important centre back at the moment until it gets back anyway. Um, right, so in the centre of the park, I have given Rice a start. He's played a lot of football, but I think we need that. He's so good when he's got time on the ball. When he's got time on the ball to fizz them crossfield balls, he's so good. He did it multiple times when he came on against Anderlecht last week. And I expect if he starts, he's going to just carry on where he left off. Partnering him in the centre of midfield, Mr. Flynn fucking Downs, mate. He's going for 3 man of the match awards in a row. He is. Yeah, mate. He's going to get it as well. He's going to be I hope I don't jinx him. But yeah, I hope Downs gets thrown in there. If he gets 3 man of the match rewards in 3 games, that has to give Moyes something to scratch his head about, hasn't it? It's got to. If that isn't enough, he's never going to get a chance. Loan him out in January. Let him get first team football because you're taking a piss out of him. He's a West Ham fan. He's one of me. He's one of you. Like, let's look out for the boy. Yeah. Anyway, I've gone for Bowen on the right. He needs a rest as well. But who else are you going to play there? I would have played Benrahma on the right, but Cornet is injured, so I've got to play Benrahma on the left. That answers your right and left winger question. There you go. I've got Bowen on the right. I've got Benrahma on the left. I've got Paqueta as centre attacking midfield, but I have a feeling Moyes is going to play Lanzini. I've got a very strong feeling he's going to play Lanzini as a number 8 rather than a number 10. And originally I went for Antonio up front, but I don't think that's going to happen. So, Viva la Scamaca. Let's hope he starts, eh? I don't want a player that's half run down playing anyway. Like, if he's getting over a cold, tell him to stay in bed and put flannel on his head. I don't want him playing, to be fair. And never going to get better, are you, if you're running around in freezing fucking cold at 8 o'clock at night, are you? But yeah, I can't see him. I can't see Antonio playing, so I've given Scamacca a start. Like I said earlier, we need to give as many players as possible as many minutes as possible. We need to be as equal without weakening our team, which is a lot easier this season than what it was last season. And I think everyone will agree with me when I say that. I also put down here it's an important game for Downs. If Downs gets 3 out of 3, he's knocking on that manager's door, mate. Come on, give me a start. Thomas Souček's been fucking shit, mate. He's had like 2 good games in about 15. Like, what more do I have to do? I'm performing well in Europe. Your midfielder who you're playing in the league isn't playing well. If anything, you should use this opportunity to throw me in the team to give him a kick up the arse. I love Souček, but he's been absolutely shite this season. Benrahma needs a better game. It's as simple as that. He can't be playing how he played against them. Otherwise, I will end up with a broken telly. It was extremely frustrating to just see them tame shots. Anyway, enough about that. You've got to love the depth. Ain't ya? You just have to love it. It's just so nice. We ain't used to it, are we? Like, yeah. It's just thinking about it. It's put a smile on my face. Like I said, I think we're going to cement our place at the top of the group, qualifying for the knockout rounds, and tomorrow I'm going for a 3-0 win with that's modified. I went for a 2-0 win like I predicted against them last week, but I feel having Rice, Paqueta and Scamacca start, if we can be like 1-0 up, 2-0 up, bring them off on the 60th minute, let some of the others have a go. I mean, even if we end up drawing the game, it's not the end of the world because we're definitely going to beat Silkeborg. Oh, I hope so. Oh, mate. But yeah, I think Scamacca with a brace, and I think Bowen's going to score, but I really want Paqueta to get a goal. I really do. I'm hoping. Anyway, everything looks positive from us. Keep a lookout for my review show, which I will be releasing on Friday morning. I'll record it on Thursday night, but I'll release it on Friday morning. So keep your eyes out for that. Like I said, give this video a like, give it a subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified, and hit me with the comments, man. Until next time, come on, you irons.